Hi, Linda.
Hi,
Hi, Marie.
Maureen.
So thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. I know everybody will appreciate it, but I just wanted to talk about a couple of things about the film and your roles, particularly how you two have this really, really cool connection that we don't really get to find out for a while, so we can't give too many spoilers.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, Linda, I
Uh-oh.
can say this, right? How we came up with your
Yeah,
character's name,
yeah,
Linda?
yeah.
I mean, you,
Maria,
Linda, we're talking about Maria.
you can.
You want to tell it? Go tell it.
So I think I was telling you a story about when I was a little girl and the things that like I would talk to my grandmother about, right? If I remember. And you know, how these creepy things used to happen to me when I was a little girl and how like spiritual she was. And then you asked me what her name was, and I said her name was Maria in Spanish. And then you asked me if it would be okay to use that for the character name, and I said absolutely, I would love that. I'd love that.
Well, it fit, but I also think that it helps for you to make that connection to your character.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Kevin? Because your role as Officer Tan was
Officer
really
Tan.
Officer
Wait, that's not my
Sam.
name.
Sam.
Officer Sam, she said.
What I said.
Oh, I thought you said Officer Tan.
It sounded like you said Officer Can.
Maybe I don't know what I said. But we know who you are, Kevin Tan, who plays Officer Sam. Just for the record, your role, I think, will be interesting to a lot of people because you came from a place, without giving away spoilers, so I'm going carefully. You came from a place that was regimented, and then you choose something, a career that's also regimented, that requires discipline, right?
Yes.
But I like that your character, as the film goes on, begins to show all these little cracks in the veneer. And the way you navigated that is a mystery to me, because you didn't hit anybody in the head with the changes that you made, the character made throughout. You just subtly went through it. So was that a conscious decision for you to do it that way? Because it didn't look conscious. It looked very intuitive to me.
Well, despite all the changes that was happening during the filming, the story changes and stuff like that, it doesn't even matter because I have already embodied the character of Sam, Officer Sam. So it was easy for me to kind of just navigate through the scenes and all those changes, the bumps and stuff. He's a very complicated character. That I'm just gonna put it that way. He's dealt with so many things, so many ups and downs in his life. So his character is very interesting. That's all I can really talk about. I can't really say too much about it, but I just can't wait for people to watch, who Officer Sam is. And my hope is people can relate, sort of, to kind of be able to see what I saw in film.
You were really smooth, don't you think, Linda?
Yeah.
He was very smooth at making all of those adjustments and little transitions. And when you were sad, but also had to be aggressive, you were able to still look sad and aggressive. It's really hard to do most things. I mean, it's almost physiologically impossible to like be anxious and angry at the same time. But yet you were able to embody that, and I thought that was really, really a cool thing, particularly where, not giving away spoilers, but where you were in scenes with Linda, where you had to have a whole range of emotions, So Linda, what did you think about that?
It's funny you say that because I told him that. That was actually my favorite scene out of all the scenes, the one that we did together.
You mean
and I watched him.
The car with the car?
Yeah, and I watched him. I watched all the different like reactions that he was having, and You know, what I loved about what you did as Officer Sam is that I think everything that I was saying, you were really taking it in, you know, and it almost seemed like when I was saying the story to you, right? That the dialogue that I was saying to you, I don't know how you did it, but I could see that you did have a moment of reminiscing about that moment yourself, you know, as I was telling you, you know, and I could see that you felt touched by it. You made it easier for me to have my own emotion about it.
Yeah, you both did the same thing throughout the film, though, because you were actually paying attention to each other as actors, and it showed. And you were paying attention to each other as people. It's just people, and that really showed.
We have a really interesting relationship, our characters in this movie. So
when you think about what Maria was saying to Kevin, you know, in that moment that they meet, right? So, you know, supposed to be they actually do meet for the first time in that moment, but they have a history.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that they're meeting. And it's like, he doesn't even know what she knows, you know, he doesn't know. And I think when Maria starts to explain to him what she knows, it's like, you can see the change in him.
Yeah.
You know, you could see that what she's saying, and it's definitely the dialogue, because the dialogue, you know, was beautiful. I mean, the things that were being said in that moment, like the experience of Maria and Sam, you know, prior to that moment is so deep. You know, what Maria was saying to Sam, and it's just, you know, to me, that was one of the most beautiful parts of the whole movie. I think people are going to realize when they watch this movie that there's so many individual connections that are so beautiful, you know, and yet so tragic.
Because when I wrote it, I tried to have multi-layered people having intersecting multi-layered relationships. And I tried to do it subtly, but to give the actors enough room to figure out where they fit in that. Like, how do they express that to one another?
But, you know, little Maria, you know, and everything that she experiences, you know.
Vasi Saphos, yeah.
Yes. And then, you know, it comes full circle, that too, like that connection right there. It's just, I don't know, like, you know, I thought about it a lot afterwards, about all the different individual relationships that she has and that other characters have to one another. And it just made me feel like it was so well written that I honestly, I didn't really realize it. Reading the script, I knew the story was beautiful, right? But then seeing the actual relationships that were written, right, for these characters, and the way that everybody, you know, brought that to life, it was just like, it was, I loved it. I did. And watching the trailer kind of reminds me of that, you know, because, yeah.
I keep saying the same thing. The words are just words. They're just black stuff on a page. They mean nothing. You got to put people there that are willing to put up with me, because I'm not, I recognize that I have an artistic temperament. Let's put it that way. I get it. But it's just that I see like things in Kevin, and I see things in you, and I know how perfectly you fit into these roles. And so I get caught up in it too, because it's like I'm seeing the thing for the first time in some ways. So I'm experiencing it with you as though I were separate from what I had written, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So what do you hope that people will understand about your role in particular?
That life is not perfect, that, you know, every human race have their own inner struggles that they have to battle with. There's just so much going on in the movie. Like Linda was talking about, like, you know, relationships, with the different characters, and, you know, things like that, what the struggles they have to go through just to get through another day, basically. So, I mean, the takeaway for the film is, you know, just hopefully people can just take everything in and just kind of like put into a perspective that no one's perfect in this world.
Well, it's like the flip side of the coin line, right? Yep. And that's the good and evil of it. People doing things, claiming to do
there are good people and bad people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and claim to do something for a good purpose. They're just holding up they're under a different banner of what they're justifying it by. So hopefully
Exactly.
somebody will come away with that. What do you hope, Linda? Somebody can learn
I
or
hope
see or
that
feel.
I hope that people can see that life is bigger than what we think it is, that true love and connection is at the core of who we are as human beings. Understanding that we all live in this universe that it's bigger than all of us, and there are things that kind of control, our destinies and our lives, and that being a real good human being is important in the world.
The subtleties that you guys brought to it, I think, have good stories in themselves. I think it takes a while for the real story to sink in, what it really means.
Yeah,
So
I do. I think it's
thought-provoking.
it's something to think about. It's just it definitely is something that hopefully will provoke people to think that, to really, really look at each other, and to value what we have, and to look at people deeper.
I like that both of your characters could do things that a lot of people would call bad.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But without giving anything away, I
Mhm.
like that everyone's theme has been that the possibility of redemption always exists.
That's right.
It's there, and it
Yes.
doesn't mean that each character took that chance.
Yeah.
But I think on every character's level, they either got to experience it or get close to it or finally understand it or recognize that they passed it up when they could have had it.
That's right. Yeah, that is such a good point. Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what people
I
feel
know.
about it.
I
But-
hope so. I hope they really do. I hope they do. I have hope that they will, because audience, the people are intelligent, and I think that it's easy to see. I think it's easy. I think all the actors in this really portrayed that really well. The message. I think.
Absolutely true.
Mhm.
Absolutely true. I'm really proud of them. It's like I'm film mother,
I know.
I
know.
I'm really proud of them, everyone.
Yeah.
I really am, because I saw the level of commitment that everyone put in, even when it was hard and it was
Yeah.
freezing, or it was getting hot, it was raining, and then snow, and then you got poked in the eye,
Oh my God.
or whatever you did to your eye.
Yes.
God, yeah.
And we had like all these other things peripherally going on around the characters
Yeah.
themselves that we had to
Yes.
incorporate and shift. So it's really a testament to everyone's fortitude and
Yes.
enthusiasm that we got through it, and we're still all intact, and we're still like haven't killed anybody.
That's right.
I'm
And
still-
and honestly, I always said it to you, and I'll say it again because it's the truth. I'm never gonna say that to you if it wasn't true. I always said, Maureen, you did such a great job like casting this. You did, because not only did you pick people that did an amazing job, but you also picked people that had really big hearts and cared, and we all really, I think it's like we're all still friends, and we have this love for one another, and you don't find that a lot, and then the support that everybody gave to each other.
I know you do. Most of us do. Kevin was more like an insulated actor. He was like, I'm on set and here I am and I'm going this way and I see nothing here and I see nothing there, and where is my coffee? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Go to the bathroom. Like that was like the limit of his like external stuff from the scene. It's just, so
Kevin was a rock star throughout this whole thing.
No, Kevin shows up. We talk about him like he's not here. I like that.
I know, right?
Hi, Kevin. We know you're here. But Kevin shows up. He is one of the most prepared actors I have ever had the pleasure to work with. He is prepared. And I swear to God, if there was any hint that he wasn't, he's so good at acting, he'd never let you know. And he's just so good.
He was intense. He was intense.
Oh, heck yeah.
He was intense.
Thanks for coffee. Whoever invented coffee, that helped.
Right? I agree with that. I agree with that.
Well, one of the behind the scenes secrets that I'll let out is that I'm on top of the hill in the cemetery, and I have my dog who I'm rescuing from my house from being alone for like days on end. I have the retractable leash, and I pick up my hand, and the wind blows and sucks the half of my hair up into the retractable leash, and I'm standing there half laughing and half crying. Who helps me? Kevin.
Yeah.
So that he can also put that on his resume now. Releases woman's hair from retractable leash.
You have the director on set and also the writer on set. So yeah.
Well,
So
although
say
his solution
because
was
of that.
his first solution was not my favorite, and it went like this. I don't think it's coming out. We're going to have to rip it. You don't tell a woman you're going to rip the hair out.
I was standing right
Right,
there when the whole thing happened. I was standing right there when the whole thing happened.
It was awful. So yeah, so I figured, no, I better just slowly retract and
Yes.
detract, retract, and uptract, downtract. I don't even know.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
We were going to cut your hair. That was the next thing we were going to do.
Well, I'm still missing a clump.
We were going to cut your hair. Like we were asking for a scissor because
Yeah,
we were going to
after
cut you out of it.
I brushed it and I was like, whoa, look at that.
Yeah.
Can make like a bird's nest out of that.
Tell you this, and I did tell you this already, Maureen. I was like, I learned a lot about myself at this set, and the one thing that I learned, honestly, and I can say it here, is just that I need to be, more spontaneous about things like this because, and right, we talked about this, about how when you're an actor, you hold on to those lines and, you've learned them, you've committed them to memory, and then, you have to sort of let them go and go with something different. And it almost feels like someone's ripping something out of you.
We all, I think, experienced that on different levels.
Yeah.
And I think it was a really good learning lesson for all of us. And,
Yes.
and it's a good memory now. What could have been a catastrophe ended up to be a really good learning experience,
It's
And-
raining, it's snowing, the sun is out. Like all
and
kinds of
so
things.
we had to sit up with Priscilla, our AD, who we all adore and
Yeah.
miss. She sat up with me and Logan, and we all sat there, and we had to just plow through stuff and rewrite. And it's painful for me because it's the story was personal to me in a lot of ways. So it's like ripping a piece of that away.
Right.
But you have to
right.
let it go. You have to let
Yes.
stuff go. And if I've learned nothing in my life, and that I hope to have incorporated in the script itself, was you got to let some stuff go.
Oh yeah.
You have to let it go. But that you were able to do that, Linda, is a testament to you as a growing actor, that
Thank
you're
you.
able to figure this out, because it's not easy.
No,
It's
wasn't.
hard.
Yeah.
And Kevin doesn't like it either. I mean, Kevin's like, it's like a dog with the food bowl. It's like, who moved my food bowl? It's like, but he doesn't like it. But he is so professional that he just pivots.
Yeah.
He just pivots. He's like, oh, okay, and off he goes and does his thing. So, and I'm really excited for people to see this film because I think it's something unique. It's not something that's been done like this. We've done
Yeah.
something really, really unique. And so I hope that if people go in with any expectation, it's not that it's going to be all horror or people beating each other up or, anything like that. There's also some very funny parts in it. And I hope people feel free to laugh at those because they're intentionally whimsical and a little off center. I hope people laugh when, Steve does an extra loud, crazy laugh because it's comical in a sad way, but it's funny. I hope that they find the funny in it too. I hope that they see more than, maybe a trailer, little tiny tight synopsis could ever show anyone. But with you guys, your performances were amazing, and I cannot wait.
Thank you.
For people to see what Sam and Maria do.
Thank you.
Is all right. Thanks for meeting with me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I like talking to you about it. It's kind of like it still feels kind of fresh,
Yeah.
So it just took so much out of everyone. I still feel like I'm still recuperating.
It really did. It really did.
Yeah.
Anything emotional like that you have to deal with.
I get that, and I think what people are gonna love to see is somebody brand new like Fosse, who plays young Maria.
We all know what the ending scene is, right? The ending scene ends with a happy.
That long.
You know, I know. I'm trying not to say, but I will say, you know, if it can be, if any sad moment can be beautiful, they're beautiful sad moments because it tells a story about someone loved or believed or people mean something to them. And yes.
So, but thanks again, guys, for
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you for having us.
I
Thanks,
miss you
Maureen.
both. I miss you both. It's
Miss you
good to see
too.
your faces.
Nice to see you too.